Hello, hello. There might be a weird sound. My system is sounding weird because there was a flickering in the light. So still having a little hiccup in there. But anywho, um, I was just meditating and some things came along that meditation. Um, Within what I want to communicate today is my full moon calendar notification just in time. That is so funny. Waxing crescent 7.5%. Now Cancer, you today, nurturing sensitive emotionals. Full in 13 days. That's so funny. Um, I just asked when the moon was gonna change. And the reason why this is important for everyone, regardless if you're a believer or not, is you have to understand the tides of the ocean change with the moon phases. The same happens to our emotions. And a lot of people do not pay attention to what stage the moon is at, so they can actually work with their shadows accordingly. So I've been studying this for a while. I'm not a professional on it, but I'm autodidact. I like to learn a lot of these things. And the reason why I started trying to understand the phases of the moon was because of the roller coaster of emotions that I was going when my PTSD got triggered. So as an empath, our nervous system is heightened. A person like me that can actually transmute energies from another person can do a spiritual connection with the energy of that person and know exactly what they're going through. And I guess that part of that gift is that you learn how to get out of the dark pit that the person is at to help them get out of it. In the past, if I saw anyone going through the motions of the emotions, then I will offer my assistance until I learned that not everybody welcomes that kind of, I will say, unsolicited help or advice. So I started seeing a lot of darkness, a lot of pain and suffering, a lot of regrets, a lot of sad moments where the person or the people that were surrounding me at the giving time were all going through very dark moments. Um, I'm not saying this to expose anyone, but I had to transform all of that. So, what we're going to talk about is not what exactly they were going through, but how you get out of the dark pit without the help of anybody else but your own awareness. So, that's why we're talking about the moon. Um, the moon enters in Cancer at 9:46 p.m. and that begins a softer, more emotional and intuitive water moon period. The shift you're gonna feel in your body is that you're gonna stop overthinking, because Cancer is water, but Gemini is air. And we were on the Gemini move, the Gemini moon, which is mostly the duality of the mind. Now you're going from the mind to the heart because you had time to process what was in your mind. Now the water is the one that's filling the heart, right? And the water is related to the emotions. That's why they say that we all are part of the ocean, right? Words are gonna become feelings. Curiosity is gonna become something you have to confront, or comfort, actually. Movement is gonna move into nesting. It is actually the best moment now to slow down, soften, and listen to your heart. Because with this moon, you need to be soft. You need to feel. You need to remember. You need to nourish yourself. This is not going to be a chaotic time. It's going to be a balancing time, because this is when it's going to set us for the full moon. So the core energy of the Cancer moon is ruled by the moon itself. Your emotions, memories, intuition, sensitivity, everything is going to rise to the surface, but it's not as a punishment. It's actually as, come on, look yourself at the mirror and face it. There's no more leaving this for tomorrow. You need to accept what you feel, and you need to either heal it or let it go. So, this is going to be a nurturing time. It's going to be a time that you're going to protect yourself, your home, your ancestry, and mostly your emotional truth. What defines this is emotional depth. Your feelings are gonna be louder and clearer, and it's gonna be difficult to ignore, because you can be fighting against your own feelings because you may not feel sufficient enough to match someone else, and you may have been harnessing feelings for a person and not expressing them, and this is the time that that is all going to come out, not for you to feel down, for you to accept it. There's two things that we have to accept in life. We cannot change the past. We need to change the now. When you change the now, you start working with your future. So that is what this is inviting you to. It's inviting you to accept your emotions, accept what you feel, and your instinct is going to be heightened, your intuition. You may have a lot of prophetic dreams or symbolic, I would say, moments, repetitive numbers, repetitive events, prophetic dreams. You may not understand why your psyche is showing to you a specific place and time or a person. And if you don't have the guts to say you're sorry to that person, you can say it in that realm. It is all connected. We are all interconnected. Therefore, the energy will do its job. Home and comfort. You want to crave a little bit more safety, softness, and staying in familiar places. You're gonna start looking at old patterns of family stories and generational emotions that will rise up for the healing of them. For example, if you come from a broken home, you have to understand that if they weren't together, you wouldn't be part of this experience. So you got to thank them for it. And if there was not sufficient commonalities for them to stay together, it may not be that they didn't love one another. It may only be that what they thought or perceived love wasn't exactly what it should or how they should have handled it. So that doesn't mean that a lot of kids tend to think that they are the cause of the breakups, and that's not true. You have nothing to do with that. That is not something anyone should carry. So, when it comes to spiritual and biblical symbolism, Abba is bringing me to John 2, and I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. Cancer lunar rulership aligns with biblical themes of shelter, compassion, the woman, creation, the Holy Spirit as a comforter. I did put a prayer in the post, in the community post, that you can read along and then create your own. So you actually can open your heart and ask for clarity and make amends and peace in the 5 dimension, because all of us are one and we all interconnect in that dimension. So you don't personally have to be in front of somebody to say that you're sorry. You can actually do it in the fifth dimension, because it's gonna be felt and it's gonna open clarity. So shadow expressions, what to watch in here. It's not negative. It's just you got to be aware of your moods or withdrawals. If you're clinging to the past, if you're overprotective, and if you're taking things personal. With my condition, these are things that I have to very, very, very much pay attention to, because at times my nervous system has its own automatic reactions to things, and it may kind of confuse the fear with intuition. And that's very important that you know which one is which. In order to do that, you need to know how your body reacts to specific words, to specific environments, to specific things or actions. What this moon is asking us to do, slow down and face it, bro. Go ahead and face it. Feel everything that you have been avoiding. Return to that nourishes you. And let your heart honestly speak. If there is no emotional honesty and you don't cleanse yourself spiritually and you don't reconnect with your inner sanctuary, then that's going to be another cross that you're going to bear. And you don't want to do that. So, let's see if I got something else. Bambi. The spirit animal that aligns the most with the Cancer moon is going to be a Bambi, the deer. Because the moon amplifies tenderness, intuition, emotional intelligence, and the quiet strength of gentleness. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. This is going to be a nice moment for you to heal, for you to stop avoiding your feelings, and for you to finally be honest with yourself. So, why did he bring us to John 2nd? I was actually seeing number 19, which says, Jesus answered and say unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. The main reason why people supposedly fall out of love is not that they fell out of love, it's that they never understood what true unconditional love was. And I've been studying for many years the different modalities that are out there, the gifts of the spirit, and the teachings of Jesus. And if your perception of love is a fairy tale and anything goes wrong, then your perception of love is tainted because love is not perfect. The beauty of love is that it's imperfect, but it's an imperfection that is perfect for you because it sits with you exactly for who you are, not asking you to perform for anyone, not asking you to be other than your normal self. But if you don't accept who you are, because you're always have been living a false life and thinking it is not false, then that's where your perception of love falls into the cracks of the system. Sorry, I just ate, and yeah, that's kind of bothersome, but that happens all the time. Anywho, so let's say for an example that all of your life you're being conditioned to perform at a certain level to be loved or accepted or I will say acknowledged by those around you. If you come into a relationship trying for others to live under that, and the other person is not asleep and it's already awakened to unconditional love, then you're going to push that person away. And unfortunately, we all have been taught how to love with conditions. You have to be the best student, you have to be the best at sports, you have to be the best at your job, you have to be the best, 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 the best. And if you don't fall into their description of what is okay, then you're going to think you're not worth. You're going to lose your self-worth because you're always going to try to please another person to just fit in or be accepted. And that is why I say that the perception of love is very different. Whoever loves you for who you are loves even the imperfections of you. And I've seen this. I used to go interview people and ask them, what does unconditional love mean to you? How do you feel when you give it and how you feel when you receive it? Main points on that was two people making a commitment to be by each other's side and just look for solutions, but not conforming. Just look for solutions within the both of them. And in our society, now with media and all this going on, sides of media, I will say also the different apps that we use on a daily basis, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. It's nice because it originated to keep people together when they were living in different places, but it has become a platform for people to show off. And a lot of people are doing so many fake things just to be liked by others for whatever reason. I did promise myself that I am not perfect and I don't care for being perfect or not. I love myself for who I am and I love all the insights that Abba brings into the table and the way that I can explain it to others so they stop feeling unworthy. And the reason why is because I was conditioned all my life. And I always try to, I would say, I guess I overgave thinking that it was what was correct. then I started seeing unconditional love, and I was like totally in duality of why, if Jesus taught this, why are churches and places doing this, and that? Why are people judging one another? And then I realized it's simple and easy. Those who judge based on what you have, it's because all of their life they were told that they're nothing or no one if they don't have specific things in life. And I found the most beautiful love in places that you will not expect. That's why I love the little things of life. That's why it's not that I'm a conformist, because a lot of people think that you don't have dreams or you don't have goals in life. You're a conformist and you're a loser. No, it's that I learned what is to have it all and what is to have nothing. And in both places, what is to have fake people around you. And that gets pretty lonely pretty quickly. So I rather use my inner child, allow my inner child to come out and play. And not because I am childish or I want to like safeguard myself in a special place, just because the kingdom of Abba is for those that are kids at heart, because only kids can have unconditional love and forgive one another. But a lot of people don't understand that because of the indoctrination and the way that they have been raised. Um, they have to show off. They have to live being a character all the time to be accepted by their own family, and that's sad. It happens to most of us, and maybe others don't go through that. But for those that have gone through that, those that don't have parents and they have to parent themselves, if you were rejected because people saw you like, I don't know, another race, they saw you as the person with no parents or whatever, just step up to the mirror and look at yourself and ask yourself, damn, I had nobody to teach me, and look all I have for myself. Look what I've built for myself. Don't let greed get in between your heart and your soul. It is very simple to not have nothing and then from a sudden have everything, and greed comes along to continue to push you to live over your limits. Don't let the veil blind you enough that you can see authentic people in front of you just because the world has told you things have to do X and Y way. Ask yourself, what does love means to me? I always said it. Love for me is being accepted for who I am. Therefore, I did have to work on understanding my reactions. And the reason why is because I have a condition that triggers my nervous system to react and be in super fight or flight mode because of the PTSD. And I didn't know I suffered it. I just thought it was something normal until I was told it was not. And that helped me look within, not to find outside of me what I needed to find inside of me, but to actually see how the moon cycles will actually change the vibration of my own body. So pay attention to the moon cycles. Read John 2nd. There's a lot of good things in there. Mother of Jesus telling him to do or perform a kind of miracle, right? Turning water to wine before his time and things like that. So yeah, that's all for today. I just hope you guys have a blessed evening and that you finally can sit down with yourself, look yourself at the mirror and ask yourself, what does my heart thinks about love? What do I think love is? And then you're going to confront yourself in a way that you're going to understand what are your projections and why your relationships fail. And after that, then you're free to live your life happily and joyfully by taking accountability and doing the changes you need to do in order to get where you want to be. So I stop hoping because hope is not an action. Hope is a stagnant place. And it's not that I'm mean or I'm ruthless. No. If you have a dream and you want to reach that dream, then it only will become true when you face the golden mirror. And the golden mirror is the face of you that you don't want to see, your shadow. And the moment that you see your shadow, you will understand why everything happened for you and not at you. And it's a beautiful space to be. So much love, peace, and light. And I might have to turn off my computer because for some reason my mouse just stopped working. So let's see if I can do anything. No. It's not working this way, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn off my computer because, I don't know, my mouse is just going bananas. So, bye!